I have a motto. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, and it's all because I live outside the box. Living outside the box affords me to use all my talents and gifts given to me by God. Being an entrepreneur has many fundamental steps you should follow. However, in this masterclass, I will teach you three that were truly important to me. One, setting realistic expectations. Two, finding a niche in a sizable market. And three, designing a sound business model. In 2019, I myself became a small business owner. I happened to publish two Mommy and Me and Daddy and Me prayer journals, along with designing drinking mugs and t shirts. Through that time, I learned so much. And according to the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, setting realistic expectations for starting your business is very crucial. So that was actually my first step. I sat down with a pen and a pad and began to outline what I expected from my small business, what sales I wanted to make, where did I want to spend the majority of my revenue that came in? Did I want to market? Do I want to hire some assistants? Also, a part of setting realistic expectations is, what do you expect to make as an income from this business? For me, I was just starting out. I didn't have a lot of resources. So if I made $200 in a month, that was actually really good for me. That was my starting off expectation. Of course, now, two going on 3 years later, is definitely have changed. However, that was my basis. I wanted to at least make $200 a month. According to Sean Parker, who wrote Economics of Self Employment and Entrepreneurship, being able to find a niche in a sizable market is also very important to a new entrepreneur. For me, I started off with doing my prayer journals because that was something that I loved to do. However, after a while, I knew that in order to keep my business going, I had to start looking for other ways to produce a product, get it to the consumer, and then reap the benefits of that. So that's how I began to then start designing t shirts and mugs. And what I did was I went and I did research, which is something that you should always do anytime you're starting anything, but definitely when you're starting a business. I did research. I went to go see who was the top sellers and creating mugs, selling mugs. Also, how could I make my own t shirts? How could I find a distributor? How could I find a graphic designer? I had to do all of the groundwork, which was not easy, however, was very rewarding on the back end. So, finding your niche in a sizable market is very important. Last but definitely not least, designing a sound business model is crucial. According to the Harvard Business Review's article, Six Fundamentals Every Entrepreneur Needs to Succeed, your business model is your core, it's your center, it's what holds everything together. Your business model allows investors to see where you're going with your business. Your business model allows you to strategically plan. Your business model also shows others where you're headed, what you see for the future for your business, and what they can actually pour into your business. Now, this is actually something that I did not have starting out. And because of that, I tell the story all the time of how I lost out on $10,000. Yes, $10,000. um, I was trying to plan and do an application for a grant, and that was the first thing that they asked for was my business model, and I did not have it. And it wasn't until after going through that experience and trying to scramble and have those things all together that I realized I really blew it. But I learned from that mistake. So again, if you're just now starting out, know that entrepreneurship is not easy and you do learn a lot as you go. However, keep in mind setting realistic expectations is important. Finding a niche in a sizable market is important. And three, designing a sound business model is important. Learn from me and my mistakes and make sure that you own those three things when starting your business. I am now a licensed cosmetologist, which means I do hair. I also am a self published author. I also have a published podcast, Living Outside the Box. I also am a personal assistant to a highly paid speaker, as well as being a full-time student at WSSU. And that's what living outside the box is to me. Entrepreneurship at its max. Thanks for tuning in to my masterclass. I hope you learned a lot from this.